One of the things that we've been doing lately, or through this year, is a Bible reading plan through the New Testament. So I want to give you a brief overview for where you will be this week. If you want the schedule, it's on our website, portlandgospel.org. And on the screen, you'll see that this week you'll read the books of Titus and Philemon. It's really about 4 chapters, so I know you can do it. You can handle it. It's very easy, lightweight reading. It'll be meaningful to you. But I want to give you a brief overview to get your mind ready for what you'll read. So I'll be short, and then Josh will come up. But let me get you some goods on this. So the book of Titus, it's written to a person that Paul calls his son in the faith. So Paul had many men that he invested in, but few that he called sons. So there was a really intentional investment that he made towards Titus. And if you want to read more about Titus in the book of 2 Corinthians in chapter 8 and Galatians chapter 2, you see him come up in his character and his relationship with Paul. He is a pastor. And this book strikes high on the pastoral level. We include it in the pastoral epistles, and it also has a lot to do with doctrine and what a pastor's role should be. Titus, unlike Timothy, is pretty short, and it's typical. It's fitting for him for his ministry, because his role, as he's told in the book of Titus, is to go to this island of Crete where churches had started, but they did not have pastors or did not have good pastors. And he was told to tell some, you're unwelcome from being a pastor, and to tell others to lay hands on and ordain men to the ministry in those churches. But he had a very short tenured ministry, because if you look at the end of the book of Titus, you'll see that his replacements were already on the way. So some things are long-term, some things are short-term. In this book in Titus, you'll see a phrase, good works, that's used 6 times. Of all the places in the Bible, 1 Timothy and Titus use this phrase the most times. And so in only 3 chapters, we get 6 uses of that. And so we're reminded first of good works, that it's not by works of righteousness which we have done. So as you read this book, it's not about earning your way to heaven. It is the washing of regeneration, that God saves us. He's the one that does the work to make us righteous. We can't do anything to earn our way to heaven. But as the book goes on to say, Titus tells us of pastors that they should be a pattern of good works. So if we're going to appoint men to ministry, they need to be exemplifying what we want to see in other people. And these are actually for everyone. As the book continues, it says, and let ours also maintain good works for necessary uses, that they be not unfruitful. And so we see that good works for the Christian are not to earn our salvation, but they do enable us to reach people, to be fruitful in some way. So I put it to you this way. The book of Titus reminds us that serving God looks a lot like serving others. I'm not sure exactly what that means for us as a church. We don't have a whole lot of like good works kind of ministries, but perhaps it's something we can pray about, that the community would receive and would give us open doors. Next, in the book of Philemon. Philemon is 1 chapter. It's very brief. And it's a personal letter written to a man who was a member of the Colossian church. Philemon hosted a church in his home. And he is well acquainted with Paul. He's a high-level guy in Paul's world. But Paul writes this letter because while Paul was imprisoned, he met a guy that worked for Philemon. His name was Onesimus. You'll see his name in the letter. And while Paul was in prison, so was Onesimus. They met together in that way, and Paul led Onesimus to Christ. He got saved. And so Paul writes this letter to Philemon and says, hey, this person that ran away from you, he's now been born again, and you now need to receive him. He's now your brother. It's very interesting. And so I think that the theme verses in the book of Philemon are right here, where Paul says, I beseech thee for my son Onesimus, whom I have begotten in my bonds, which in time past was to thee unprofitable, but now profitable to thee and to me, whom I have sent again, thou therefore receive him, that he is mine own bowels. So Paul said to Onesimus, you need to go back and get right. Take this letter. I'll say as much as I can to help you be well received. And so I put it to you this way, that the book of Philemon reminds us to forgive and reconcile with Christian brothers and sisters. This is really a book of reconciliation. And he says that this person was previously unprofitable in their lost state. They were perhaps obstinate or difficult, but now that he's born again, it changes the nature of the relationship. And we have to all be open to that when someone is born again, we now enter a spiritual family where we need to be right with each other. So read the books of Titus and Philemon this week and be blessed by those. You can check out more resources on our website if you need some help with that. And then now we're going to transition to Bible study. So we're going to dismiss our kids. So kids, we love you. They're ready to go. Bye, buddy. We'll see you.